Hello, everybody. Welcome in live. This is your host, Matthew Miller, here on Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football in Texas. Gets the big win here in Alabama, 34-24. Guys, gigantic win for this program, gigantic win for this team, gigantic win for the flagship university in Texas. It's the biggest win, first-ranked win, or first-ranked win for its team inside the top three since 2008 versus Oklahoma. Let that sink in for a minute. I mean, this is just gigantic. It really is. It's a gigantic night. It means a lot for you guys to spend the night here with me as we talk about this. I am your host, Matthew Miller. Again, thanks for being here. Can you please hit that like button? Please subscribe down below. We got a little homework for you right before we begin. Also, we have a new sponsor here on Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. There you go. Promo code BIG, $10 off a purchase of at least $100 more, or $20 off a $300 at ticketsmarter.com. Save on your next trip to the big game with TicketSmarter. Get $10 off an order of $100 or more by using the promo code BIG, or get $20 off an order of $300 or more using the promo code BIG20. Use the promo code as much as you like. TicketSmarter gives you the most competitive prices of the secondary market, guaranteed, guys. And guess what? When you go to a college football game, $100 is definitely going to happen for a ticket. If you're bringing 2-3 people, you're going to hit that $300 mark. Tickets were going for $300 or $400 tonight in Alabama. You could have got that for $20 off right there at ticketsmarter.com. So please go in there, check them out if you're trying to buy tickets to a game. Also, guys, we're trying to grow some channels here, so subscribe. I just dropped it in the chat a little minute ago to the new SEC channel here at the Voice of College Football, and also go to our Big 12 channel, subscribe. I'm here every Tuesday, Texas Tuesdays, here with your host, Matthew Miller, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, and I'm also here after every Texas game, win or loss. And, guys, let's get into this game. Again, Texas, 34, Alabama, 24. Biggest win in the program in over a decade. Fantastic game by Quinn Ewers. You know, going into this game, we talked about your quarterback's going to have to meet these marks, and Quinn Ewers met the mark. He had over the 300 yards required. He had pretty close to the 3.5 touchdowns the quarterback comes in and has versus Alabama to get the win. And I don't know the completion percentage, but it was pretty close to what you needed. Guys, 24 for 38 for 349 yards and 3 touchdowns for Quinn Ewers. So all around a great game for him. We did just enough on the ground, guys. It wasn't a monster effort by any means. 37 attempts, 105 yards, 2.8 yards per carry, 1 touchdown. To me, we had a preview here on Mark's channel. If you went and looked at it, I said, I don't think we're going to be able to rush versus this front. We weren't really able to, but we needed to keep them honest and then hit them deep. And Quinn Ewers did that. He was freaking fantastic all night long, hitting the deep ball. I believe in the second half, he didn't miss a pass over 30 yards. We had over 5 of those plays, so he did a very good job there. This was the moment I talked about with Mark. He needed to nut up. He's the best high school recruit in the history of high school football rankings. Let that sink in. The best high school recruit in the history of high school football rankings, and the guy got it done tonight. He was fantastic. I have nothing wrong with Quinn Ewers. Honestly, 24 for 38. He had 4 or 5 drops in there, guys. I mean, he threw a dime to Xavier Worthy. It was a hard catch, but he should have caught it. And then there was one earlier Xavier Worthy should have definitely caught in the end zone. That would have been a touchdown. So we're talking about he probably could have had 400 to 450 yards passing and 4 or 5 touchdowns against. I don't care what anyone says. I think the Alabama offense is definitely suspect, but that defense is still very good with Downs, Key, Kool-Aid McKinstry there in the back end. They're a very good defense on the back end, especially. Texas offensive line was a question mark coming into the game. They were absolutely fantastic. I don't know what to say. They were fantastic. Quinn Ewers barely got touched in this game. I mean, dominant performance. I think DJ Campbell obviously started the game at right guard position. I believe Cole Hudson came in at some point and played for the rest of the game. I could be wrong on that on the rewatch, which I definitely will be rewatching this game. I may be wrong, like I said, but he definitely played. I saw him in their last half of the fourth quarter. So that, to me, either DJ Campbell got hurt or wasn't living up to the expectations. It was kind of surprising because we did pretty well protecting in the first half and in the second half. I had nothing wrong with the offensive line tonight, guys. The run blocking can definitely get better. But overall, just a very good performance from the offensive line. They held up very well. And then the defensive line, I knew they were going to come to play, but they were fantastic tonight. A couple of the young guys in Anthony Hill and Ethan Burke did come out of their lane sometimes and allow Jameron Miller to get through. And I said that again in the preview show. I said these guys are going to be amped up, ready to go. So I expected them to make plays, but I didn't want them getting out of the rushing lanes, and that's exactly what they did. So I didn't like that part of it. But overall, great performance again from them. 5 sacks on the night, 2 from the freshman Anthony Hill, who's going to be a stud. He did a lot of the spying on Jalen Milroe too. Did a pretty good job with that. Another marker that we hit tonight, 7 of 18 on third down for Texas. Good job from third down, almost 50%, I believe around 40%. So good job from them. Again, just overall, it was the best. Even if we would have lost this game, which we shouldn't have, honestly, we should have won by more. It was just a really well executed and fought game, honestly, from Steve Sarkisian and the staff. Obviously, the players didn't execute at the highest level at certain positions, but I believe the coaching staff put them in the position to execute the play. And I thought overall it was definitely thoroughly executed for the most part. There were some things you can clean up, but definitely the best game on the road. Jeff Ketchum, if you follow Orange Bloods, tweeted out it's the hardest fought game Texas had and looked the best at since 2005 in Ohio State, and I 100% agree with that. Usually we're sloppy on the road. The last time we went on the road in this type of environment was Arkansas. We lost 40-21, gave up over 300 yards rushing. That did not happen tonight, and that was the key to the game. Keep Jalen Milroe on the pocket and let him beat you. I will say this: the guy throws an amazing deep ball. He's a great athlete, but anywhere between 15 and 35 yards, he's wildly inaccurate. He could have thrown 4 or 5 interceptions tonight. He got very lucky. Jalen Ford is usually sure-handed at the linebacker position, catching interceptions, and he dropped that one in the end zone that allowed them to keep allowed them to get the field goal before the end of the first half. So let's jump into these comments real quick. I'm sure you guys have. Jason O, nice game for Texas. Hook 'em. Yep, hook 'em. Guys, this is such a big win for this program. It really is. But the problem is this can't be the bullseye. This has to be the trampoline. This has to be the bouncing off point. This has to be something that we can improve off of, build off of, and then hopefully go and win a Big 12 championship. And honestly, at this point, compete for a national championship. I think that's the goal now. This team has the talent. They showed you tonight. This is the first time in my lifetime that they've been able to match up like an Alabama team on the offensive and defensive line. I mean, they showed it. So if you can show it tonight, what is your excuse going forward? There is none. We're the most talented team in the Big 12. I don't think there's any question about that after tonight. I think we have the best quarterback in the Big 12 other than Jalen Daniels. I would put him and Quinn Ewers at 1 and 2. I think obviously Quinn Ewers is a better passer, but there's no excuse. We have to get to the Big 12 championship game at the end of the day. That's what we need to do. That's what this program needed to do before this game. And this is just more ammunition in that gun to say that we have to get there. So, John, thank you very much. Your Michigan Wolverines obviously played UNLV. Got a big win for them too. I like how no one showed up that I was expecting in the comments, all those Alabama trash talkers, because they never do. They always come here and talk, and then they move on, and they don't take their little butt spanking. But, overall, great game. I didn't expect them to. I really wanted John DeLon. If you're out there, come in the comments. You're an LSU fan. You got whooped by FSU week 1, and then you just refused to show up. And people can say what they want, but I said if anyone was going to blow anyone out tonight, it'd be Texas blowing out Alabama, and we should have. Honestly, we won by 10. We should have won by 20. We were the better team tonight. I think we showed that at the line of scrimmage. I think we showed that on both lines of scrimmage. I think we showed that with the quarterback position. I think we showed that at the wide receiver position. The only position Alabama was better at us at was running back, honestly. That's it. And I'm surprised by that even. I thought Jonathan Brooks was okay tonight. CJ Baxter had a couple good runs, but overall, not the best ever from those guys. Very happy for y'all. As someone who has known Steve Sarkisian since junior, I am very happy for all. Wow, that's really cool. Yeah, Sark's a great guy. Sark is one of those guys you want to root for. Ross Dellinger wrote an article about Steve Sarkisian and how during I believe Alabama was having physicals for their coaches, and that's what it was. And they found out that he was going to have an aneurysm, and he had to have life-saving surgery for that. So that's another feather in the cap of why Steve Sarkisian is an easy guy to root for on top of the struggles he's had with alcoholism. I think that's another thing. He's definitely persevered through a lot in his life, and he's handled everything with class. So I have nothing bad about Steve Sarkisian. The only thing I didn't like tonight was going for it after we somehow muffed that under center snap. Jonathan Brooks got the first down, and then the next fourth down, we should not have gone for that. That's the only thing I have to say about Sark. Everything else I love. The one play design, I can't wait to go back and watch it, where he motions 2 guys to the right and throws a screen back to Jatavian Sanders, was amazing. It would have been a 30-yard play if not for the holding from Kelvin Banks. So he scripted his ass off tonight, just like he does in big games. That's the thing about Steve Sarkisian. In big games, he's going to show out and show off. So overall, great job by him. Let's get into the Bama side of things. Jalen Milroe, 14 of 27, 255 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Overall, you can see the skills, you can see the talent. He's just not there, guys. He's not a quarterback. He is a stallion, or he's a thoroughbred at this point that you have to break in to become a stallion. That's what he is. He's not broken into where he can sit back there and read progressions, read defenses, and deliver the ball on time. He's not at that point. He is at the point of if a play breaks down, he can run for 15 to 30 yards, sometimes break tackles, get all the way to the house. He's at the point to where if he has time and a guy's running a deep post or a deep fade or anything like that, he can hit them, but that's about it. The intermediate game is a joke from him, no offense. He really needs to improve on that. And if he can improve on that, he can be a good quarterback. But right now, he's just not a good quarterback. And then they weren't able to rush the ball. Everyone said they were going to run it down our throats. 35 carries, 107 yards. We had 5 sacks. We dominated that quote-unquote gigantic NFL offensive line. They weren't that good tonight. I think they're good. But the thing is with them, for most big guys like that, they're really not nimble. And I think that's what you saw tonight. You saw them. You were able to bend and beat them with a speed rush. And they're going to definitely have to work on that. And yes, John, please hit that like button. Please subscribe down below again. And then down the field, they did hit that 1 touchdown. I believe that was Jermaine Burton. So they did get that 1 shot. And I'm not surprised. You're not going to bottle up someone like a Jalen Milroe that long who has a cannon. I expected to hit 1, maybe 2 deep passes, but we held them and we had 2 interceptions. That was the key, guys. They had 2 turnovers. We had none. So Silas, Big 12 in the house. It was hilarious if anyone caught that at the end of the game. Texas was chanting SEC at the end of the game. I thought that was hilarious. I loved it. Those stupid SEC fans chant that, even though you're at the bottom like a Vanderbilt chanting that. It's really dumb to me. I've never liked that. Texas fans are not going to do that seriously. We did it tonight because we think it's funny, but I can promise you we're not going to do that seriously. There's plenty of people on YouTube who you can go follow Texas fans, including myself, who have said Texas will not do that seriously. And again, please hit that like button like John said. Subscribe down below. Go over to our Big 12 and SEC channels, guys. Hit that like button. Subscribe to those channels as well. It really helps out, guys. Look at that. Please subscribe to all those channels. It really helps out all those channels. I'm trying to grow this brand. Like for Mark, like I said, I do a Texas Tuesdays live on the Big 12 channel and the Texas channel. And then I'm here every Saturday on both those channels as well after the game. Let's go back to your guys' comments. But yeah, overall, the SEC actually hasn't been performing very well. The Big 12 hasn't either. Honestly, other than this Texas win, there hasn't been much. Texas Tech performed tonight. I expected, like I said, pregame, I thought Texas Tech or Baylor, one of those teams would get the win. They all fought, but Texas luckily was the one to get the win. Yes, Texas fight. SEC fans already tried to realign the conference and say that Texas is an SEC team. Yeah, I know. That's funny. LBC Robbie, I appreciate that a lot. Like I said, tell your friends, tell your family, subscribe, share it out. I really want the content going. At some point, if we have enough people, probably get Mark to where we can have a StreamYard link and have people call into the show. But I love hanging out with you guys. I love talking football. I love for moments like this. Honestly, I've been doing this, I think, for 3 or 4 years. It's the first moment even close to this. Obviously, going through Tom Herman's last season, then a 5-7 Steve Sarkisian season, then an 8-5 season with Steve Sarkisian, and then finally we're here. We're not back, guys. I don't want to hear that tonight either. I know people may talk about that. We're not. Back for Texas is winning 10 to 11 games with how many games are in a season now, and competing for conference championships. That is what back is for Texas, in my opinion. So until we do that, when we win our 10th game of the season, I might say it. But until then, I won't. DeReal, you did. And, hey, DeReal, we were both right on that. Talking about, I didn't expect Texas to win, but I said if they can get up where we both said, if we can get them up, or if Texas can get up and make Jalen Milroe throw, then you see what happens. And that's kind of what happened in the second half. Honestly, we should have been more up in the first half. And I think, honestly, if we score a touchdown and make it like 20-3, I think you see a gigantic blowout tonight, because I think Jalen Milroe, they probably would have benched him in the second half, honestly. I think we could have got up really big. We were the better team tonight, guys. We outgained them by 80 to 90 yards. We forced 2 turnovers. We were better on third down. By the way, we were the more I would say, what is that word? We were the more disciplined team tonight. They had way more penalties. And by the way, can we talk about this? Everyone was saying, "Oh, Quinn Ewers is out." Well, we had 15 penalties last year. Guess what? You had 10 tonight, and I'll tell you why. Because you had talent v talent. And guess what? When someone is just as talented as you, but you're not as skilled with what you do, then guess what you do? You commit penalties. And that's exactly what has happened in Alabama. The skill level is finally starting to become even with them, and that's why you see them in dogfights like with a team like Texas. They're going to have more dogfights this year when they play LSU. I don't think LSU is a great team, but they have, I wouldn't say similar, but they have close enough talent where they can compete. Texas A&M, even though losing to Miami tonight, has close enough talent to compete. It's going to be interesting. I think at worst, Alabama still finishes. I thought that the season was going to be 10-2. Honestly, I could see 9-3, but that's probably the worst. I don't see them losing 2 more games throughout the year. 7-5 is definitely still on the table. That's like nuclear bad scenario. I still think like 9-3. Honestly, now I'm even gone down from 10-2 to real. I think 9-3 is the most realistic, which is still a top 15 team in the country, but it's not where you want to. And there we go, John. If you want to support Big J journalism and get exclusive content beyond college football after dark panel, betting guides, etc., consider Patreon or YouTube membership. The score was deceptive. Texas should have put up more points. They definitely should have. There were many drops. The defense, honestly, after we scored those 2 touchdowns, kind of melted down, and then Alabama went down and scored. So there was, and that's really the only thing I can say bad about the defense. They had that one letdown after Texas scored 14 points after the bomb from Jalen Milroe. And by the way, that's another thing I need to hit on. The resiliency to come back and do that has not been done around that program in a long time. Guys, Steve Sarkisian pointed this out. I just saw one of the comments after the game. We got the ball with 7 minutes left. Alabama never touched the ball again. That's championship stuff. That's something, I don't know if Texas fans remember this, but in Arkansas, I believe we punted or kicked them or whatever. There was like 5 or 6 minutes left, and they just ran it down our throat and scored, and we never touched the ball again. Basically, I think we got the kickoff and kneeled it or something like that. That's championship style football, is when you know what's coming, you still can't stop it. So, and that's, by the way, what we heard at SEC days with Alabama is, oh, we're just going to take them into the deep waters of the fourth quarter, and then we're going to strangle them out there. We're going to beat them down. We're going to strangle them into submission. You weren't able to do that tonight. If that's how you're going to play football and you're not able to do it against the team that's similar to you, talent-wise, if not better, honestly, like NFL scouts were saying, they said we have more NFL guys on our team right now, then you're not going to be able to do that this year. So it's going to be interesting. Poverty. We're talking about Alabama fans living in the trailer. What are we talking about here? No, I'm kidding. Georgia is resting on the number 1 spot by pedigree alone. Both Florida State and Texas have a better argument for number 1 than Georgia. I think Georgia still should be number 1. If we're, it's hard for me to say that because based on wins, but I don't think Texas could beat Georgia right now. At the end of the season, we'll see. But right now, I don't know if we could. I do believe number 2 and number 3 should probably be Texas and Florida State, honestly. I think it should probably be Georgia, Texas, Florida State, or Georgia, Florida State, Texas, whatever order you want to put them in, then Ohio State, Michigan. To real, we were mocking SEC fans. We said we were going to do that. We were mocking them. But we're not. Yeah, thank you. They chanted that to make fun. But we're not. Okay, to real, let me tell you something about Texas fans. We don't give a shit that we're going to be in the SEC. We really don't. There's myself included, a lot of YouTubers on here have talked about we're going to the SEC. We're not chanting that. We're never going to chant that unless it's going to be to make fun of you. That's the only reason we're going to chant it. We do not care. So that's the reason. A.D. Mitchell is that dude. He played great tonight. I thought he's funny just to watch, honestly, because you'll see him like dance just randomly. But he played great, so he earned the right to dance. Thank you. What conference are they in this year? We're in the Big 12. You got beat by a Big 12 team. And we'll be in the SEC next year, and we still won't be chanting SEC unless it's in a joking manner. And guess what? If we make the Big 12 championship game and Oklahoma's there, you're going to hear SEC chants there because we're making fun of the Big 12. That's the only reason we're going to chant the SEC. We hate that stuff. Gerard Jones, we are not back. I don't want to hear that. Even Chris Fowler didn't say it. Texas fans, hopefully, I don't think for the most part, like if you see guys actually talking on YouTube, they won't say it. You might see it on Twitter. I don't pay attention. I want to hear the words coming out of someone's mouth. If I hear it then you can make fun of us. But all of us Texas fans on here are not going to say that until we win the Big 12 championship. Okay, come on, man. DeReal. No. We are better than Missouri. Come on, man. Come on. Come on. We have our talent level, our ceiling, our floor is even better in Missouri. So no. For the first time, felt like a cat playing with food and Bama was for dinner or Texas with State Farm fishing. That was funny. But I'm not gonna lie. The only time I was got like super nervous that we were gonna lose, I thought it was gonna be close the whole time, was when Miller threw that bomb. I was like, okay, I need a response. And then once we scored, I was like, oh, this team can respond. And that's something new, something I have to get used to as a Texas fan is the response, because it's not something that this program or this teams of the past have been able to do. It's as soon as we get hit in the mouth in the past, guys, we just folded like a cheap lawn chair. And that didn't happen in this game. That was good, something good to see. I saw a lot of championship level, not whole game tonight from Texas, but plays. Quinn Ewers hitting the deep ball. That's something that needed to be. That's a championship part of the puzzle. Responding to adversity is another part of the puzzle. Being able to run down someone's throat with 5 to 6 to 7 minutes left to end a game is another part of the puzzle. Now we have to play a better game. There's still some things we need to clean up, like on the defense. I think our rushing lanes still need to be a little bit better, and our tackling needs to be just a little bit better. And then we need to be able to run blocks just a little bit better. Those are three things. If we clean those three things up, we're a top 5 team in the country. I really believe that. It just feels good to say that. I have not been able to say that in a long time. This man has me convinced with this compelling argument that we're not back yet. Not yet. We're close. Guys, I think I'm all in on Washington State. Did they end up beating Wisconsin? I'm not shocked by that, by the way. By the way, I'm rooting for an SEC team tonight. I'm rooting for Auburn. I need them to hit. If it hits, I win a decent amount of money. So please root for it. That's the only time I'm going to be rooting for an SEC team is if I bet on them. By the way, that butt kicking down in South Florida was beautiful to watch. That team, oh, beautiful. I can't even stop laughing at it. We go down to Tuscaloosa, whoop some butt. They go down to South Florida and get their ass whooped. That was beautiful to watch. Absolutely beautiful. You know, that's the difference between Texas and Texas A&M throughout its history is at some point Texas does bite back. Texas A&M does not bite back. It's like having a fence up, guys, and to the left you have Texas who there's a dog back there and he's a lazy dog. We'll put it that way. And sometimes he might bite you. Sometimes he might not. And the other fence, you hear this bark. And then you look over, it's a freaking chihuahua. That thing may bite, but it doesn't hurt. You'll just kick it across the lawn. That's Texas A&M. They're a joke. They should never be mentioned in the same breath as Texas. They're a joke of a program. They got a joke of a head coach that will never win a national championship in my lifetime, period. They're a joke. Nakia Watson is top 5 back in the country, and Ward is the top 5. Ward is very good. I don't know if he's top 5. I've been telling everyone Bama is done. Saban is older than Biden, and Mario Cristobal did all his good recruiting. His offensive line is very good. He's done a very good job of recruiting and also developing the offensive line position. He did a very good job. I hate Texas A&M, so I'm going to keep it. What have they done to deserve anything they've ever gotten in the media? Ever. They've won a national championship in 1939. 1939. 90% of the people that saw that are dead. Thank you for bringing this up. See, this is why people should not overreact to. There's so many cases today of why people should not overreact to week 1. Number 1, Baylor should have beat Utah. That was pass interference. That should have been put on the one. It should have gone to overtime. We would have saw what. I don't know what would have happened. Texas Tech just lost Oregon by 8. Good, very good game. We just beat Alabama. What did we hear? All those teams suck. These are going to be blowouts. Da 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 da. Honestly, if Nebraska had a quarterback, a human being that could breathe back there without throwing an interception, they would have been in that game with Colorado. Paige Casey Thompson. I don't know why you ran him off. Middle Tennessee State. Like everyone was like, "Oh, Milroe's so great because he tore them up." And then guess what? We played bad versus Rice. Rice is actually pretty good. What do you know? They're probably going to win 7-8 games and be a decent team. So that too, never lose to food. So week 1 doesn't mean jack. It will never mean jack. Honestly, you find out more about these teams as the weeks go by. I think you can settle in for most teams around week 5 or 6 of what they're going to be. Honestly. Even Texas, I want to see how we come out and play versus Wyoming. I think Wyoming's a pretty good team. Now at home, will we lose them? No, but we need to beat them by 3 scores, in my opinion. That's what from a win like this, you have to regain your composure, get back to the drawing board, and dominate a team like Wyoming. You have to. If you're going to go on to win, if you're going to go on to make the college football playoff, because that's what I'm going to say now, because I think we'll win the Big 12. But if you're going to go on to win the college or compete in the college football playoff and make the college football playoff, you have to dominate Wyoming next week. That's because that's what a championship level team would do. Imagine having to pay someone $76 million just to fight. They might as well burn money, man. It would have been made better insulating their houses. Houston was down 28. Oh, at one point, yeah, they were, and then they came back. Good luck, Chuck. Is Notre Dame a top 10 team? Where does Bama fall after this? Notre Dame is definitely a top 10 team. Alabama. Okay, do you want where I think they're going to fall after this game, or where do you think I think they finish at the end of the year? Because those are two different questions. If you're asking me after this game, I think Alabama's probably ranked 9th. I'm going to say 10th, 9th or 10th. And then I think Texas is probably 5th, 4th, something like that. Yeah. So, yeah, what Jarrell said. I don't know if he heard me and said it or if we'll probably agree on that, but that's what I think too. If you're asking me at the end of the year, I think Alabama's probably going to be ranked around 12 to 15 is what I'm going to say. I think they're going to end up losing one or two more games. Bama sucks. They don't suck. Their defense is still very good. They just played a top 7 quarterback in the sport, in my opinion. Bama is deader than the Pac-12. It's pretty dead. Texas 1. If Texas is ranked 1, I might cry. That's not going to happen. It'd be awesome, but it's not going to happen. Bro, snuck LSU. Yeah, I'm waiting for John Delane. I want him in here, but he's a pansy. He's not in here. He talks that I can't stand people like that. Because guess what? If Texas would have gotten blown out in this game, guess who's sitting in this chair talking? This guy. Guess who gets to type away over here and not say anything and run off? John Delane, where you at? Yeah, it's hilarious because they could have had Drake May. Drake May was committed and decommitted, and that's why they got Jalen Milroe. Jalen Milroe was committed to Texas. Quinn Ewers committed to Texas. He left, and then Quinn Ewers went to Ohio State. It's crazy, man. Like, it's just crazy. Thank God we fired Tom Herman when we did, because we would be stuck with Jalen Milroe as a quarterback. Bama 9-3. Yeah, I don't think they're beat. They play A&M on the road. That's the only reason A&M has a shot in that game. Honestly, if that was home, A&M would not win. Because, I mean, A&M just got bullied by Miami's offensive line. By the time Alabama plays A&M, Alabama's offensive line will be just as good, if not better, than Miami. And then you have a bulldozer at quarterback. Like, they would be able to run it down their throats. I agree. You will find out about both teams when that game happens. Honestly, guys, if Ohio State loses that game, there's a good chance. And this would be crazy. What if we got a Notre Dame, Texas, Florida State, Michigan playoff? Or Penn State? Because right now I think Penn State might be the best team in the sport, the way they're playing. Drew Aller is pretty damn good. It'd be very interesting. But overall, guys, what a beautiful night. Let's flash this up there again. 34-24. And again, guys, subscribe to our No SEC channel at youtube.com. I put that link in the comments up a little bit. And then I subscribe to our Big 12 channel as well if you want to follow more of me. If you don't, I don't care. Do it for Mark. Go over there, subscribe, hit that like button. Thank you guys a lot for that. And then again, Big 10, go to ticketsmarter.com and then type in code BIG for $10 off a purchase of at least $100 more. Promo code BIG20 for $20 off a purchase of at least $300 more at ticketsmarter.com. So please head it over there. That will save you a lot of money, especially when you're college football games. All that stuff adds up, so it saves you money. So you guess what? When you get there, you can spend a little bit more money at your concessions, get more beer, get more popcorn, get more hot dogs, whatever you need, you can get it with that money you save. And again, Texas 34-24. Hit that like button, subscribe down below. Go over to the Big 12, do the same thing. Go over to the Texas one and do the same thing. I'll let, like John said, there it is right there. Texas A&M could have beat Alabama last year, and they went 5-7. True, that is true. A&M will come against Bama because they always do. That's the funny thing. There are certain games where I think both teams play above their standards, or one team plays above their standards, the other team plays below, and then you take like a false reality from that game. I think that's kind of like the A&M every time A&M plays Alabama, because they do compete with Alabama, but if you look at the rest of their seasons, they really don't fare very well. So to me, it doesn't mean much. So they could beat Alabama. I don't think they will. Honestly, I don't. That's the thing. Like, I don't like LSU. Do they have Quinn Ewers at quarterback? Because that's what it's going to take. It's going to take great quarterback performance. I don't trust Jalen Daniels in that type of spot. I don't trust Connor Wegman in that type of spot. He's good, but he's not at that type of level right now. It's going to be interesting. They don't really play any great quarterbacks, guys. It's funny. In a year of great quarterbacks, they don't play another one, honestly. Will Rogers is good at Mississippi State, but he's not Quinn Ewers. Jackson, what's up, Longhorn Nation? And may I say congratulations to a fine victory for the Texas Longhorns. I doubted you against Bama, and I was wrong, but I hope Bama and Texas have a rematch soon. We'll play each other soon, Jackson. We'll be in the SEC. Obviously, we don't play you guys next year. I don't think, even if you guys made the playoff, they'd rematch us, but it would definitely be fun. The SEC is down in large part, 100%. The quarterbacks aren't that good. I'm trying to think who. I think Jalen Daniels is the best quarterback in the SEC, and I don't think he's a top 15 quarterback in the country. I don't even know if he's top 20. I mean, just off my head, Caleb Williams is better, Quinn Ewers is better, Drake May is better, Michael Penix is better, Shadur Sanders is better. JJ McCarthy's better. I think Drew Allar's better. I think Jordan Travis is better. Jalen Daniels at Kansas is better. Imagine if Jalen Daniels transferred to Alabama. I mean, they could win the national. Jalen Daniels is fantastic, and that's why I have Kansas in the Big 12 championship game facing us. I think their offense is very good. I kind of want to watch that Oklahoma SMU game. If anyone knows anything about that and watched it, what was it, 28-11? So Oklahoma's defense has definitely gotten better because last year, even if SMU's not that good on offense, they wouldn't have given up 11. So they've gotten better there, but is their offense any better? Is the question, in my opinion, that I want answered. Keep working hard to real. You can be a Mads. I'm guessing he said man. This is a great win regardless. Anyone will say winning is difficult in Tuscaloosa. 100%. Like Steve Sarkisian said, 52-1 the last 53 games. They're 52-2 now. The biscuit. This is Texas night as a UJ fan. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. They also played Arkansas State, who's worse than most FCS teams. So I take very little from that. I'm trying to think. They don't play anyone next week either. They honestly don't play anyone until they play us. They play Baylor week 4. I don't know who they play before us or right before us. Okay, that makes sense. I have Oklahoma finishing 3rd in their conference, so we'll see. I'm just not high on Dylan Gabriel. I don't know about Brett Venables. Obviously, the defense has gotten a little bit better, but I'm not 100% sure about anything with them right now. I haven't really got to watch them either. This is easy, Sean. Best regular season win since 2008. We beat Oklahoma, who's ranked number 3. They listed it tonight. If you get this is even crazier. So if you get rid of that game and you just go out of conference, 1969 versus number 1 Arkansas with Richard Nixon in attendance. That's our best out of conference win on the road. It's a gigantic win. It really is. But this can't be the finale. Again, this has to be the start of something. It has to be more. There has to be more to this. There has to be substance to it. If this is it, then it doesn't mean anything. It really doesn't. Bama fans are spoiled. Good for UT and Longhorn Nation. We have been through the ringer. It's been a long time, guys. It's been a really long time, but it's gonna be fun. No, it really isn't, honestly. Right now, I think the Pac-12 is the best conference in college football. It's with the Big Ten and SEC, honestly, jockeying for second. Texas may have made Saban's retirement decision at the end of the year. Okay, that's an interesting question. Saban retires. Who does Alabama hire? Because the guy I think they'd want number 1 is possibly Dabo Swinney. Do you really want him after what you've seen this year and the way he talks about the transfer portal? And the second guy's probably on that Texas sideline because there was real talk that Saban wanted to keep him around so when he stepped down, he could give him the reins. He's not leaving Texas for Alabama. So who is it? Who is it? because it got pretty dark for Alabama guys in the early 2000s. They were not very good. Exactly. So who would it be? That's the real question. I have Kiffin as a top choice, but can Lane Kiffin win a national championship? I don't know. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. That I think would be a fantastic hire. I don't think he'd leave, but that would be a fantastic hire. That too. That I think this would be a fantastic hire. I don't know if he could, guys. I don't think he could do what he does at Colorado and do that down in the South. I don't. That's all I'm going to say on that. If you can read between the lines, I think you get my drift. Can Lane Kiffin win a big game? I mean, he beat Tulane today. Obviously, they had their third string quarterback, but it was a good win. And that's the thing. He hasn't. That's the thing. At least Sark has this win. They talked about it. He beat his mentor in Pete Carroll at Washington when they weren't supposed to win. So he has a couple pretty big wins, but he doesn't. Lane Kiffin doesn't have anything close to that. Pac, Big 10, ACC, SEC, Big 12. I disagree with that right now. I think Pac is definitely the best conference right now. They have the best quarterbacks for sure. To real look at the games, I think honestly, if I'm just going by the eye test in the games, I'm going Pac, SEC, Big 10, ACC, Big 12. I think the Big 12 is the worst conference. It's funny. Could have the worst conference, could have one of the best 5 or 6 teams. Been around since the Bryant years, and usually the hires will be a dumpster fire for a while. Yeah, that's usually what happens. It's kind of hard to follow a legend like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if Alabama turns out to be a dumpster fire for a little bit. But let's go back to this. If you're just joining us, 3424 Texas, hook 'em. Can you please hit the like button? Subscribe down below. Go over to the Texas channel, subscribe there. Go over to the Big 12 channel, subscribe there. SEC channel, subscribe there because Texas will be moving to the SEC. So if you're a Texas fan or if you want to follow any of the SEC teams, subscribe there. While we're in the Big 12, I'm going to be bringing you content on there. So subscribe down to the Big 12 channel and also subscribe to the Texas channel. It really helps us out, guys. LW, thank you. I saw some of your tweets. It was big win. And I think you would, I mean, as a Bama fan, I think you would say, I think we dominated you guys tonight up front, and we deserve to win. I don't think it was a fluke by any stretch of the imagination. I think the better team won tonight. Yeah, I agree. That's how you rank conferences. I agree with that. Finally achieving on the field and folding your league the same year as the most Pac-12 ever. Yeah, it is. But yeah, Mark will be going live soon, so I'll probably jump off here soon. May join him for a little bit too to talk. It's been a hell of a night, guys. It really has. So thank you guys for being here, obviously. Oh, yeah, we couldn't get any pressure from the D-line. That's a recipe for getting cooked by Sark. 100%. Sarkisian has always – I mean, if you give the quarterback time, he's going to slice you and dice you, and that's exactly what happened tonight. And honestly, that was key to the game. I didn't know if we could do that because you guys do have a good front. I don't think you have a typical Alabama front, but you have a good front and no sacks, very little pressure. Quinn Ewers was able to sit back there, make some great throws, had 3 or 4 drops from the wide receivers, if not more. Played great. He really did. I can't complain tonight on this at all. It's the happiest I've been about a game in a long time. But again, this is week 2. We have 10 more weeks. You get one slip up. You get one. We got to win the rest of them other than that. I have to admit I was wrong. This is definitely Texas 9, and it will be interesting how things play. It will be very interesting. I think, honestly, guys, if Georgia drops the game, this season could go 2007 on us very quick, and that's the most fun a college football season has been in a very long time. So I think there's a chance. I do. I think if Ohio State goes into South Bend and loses, Michigan loses a surprising game, it could be very, very interesting. Like I said, I picked Ohio State to finish 3rd, and I think Penn State so far has looked like the best team in the country. They look dominant on both sides of the ball. They haven't played anyone. I think West Virginia is an okay team. I think we're ranking the Power Five or the all the programs in Division One, they're probably in between like 60 and 70. So maybe higher, maybe 55 to 65, but they're okay. But they beat the crap out of them, so they're very good. Texas, obviously, I think has the second best, maybe no, they have the best win in the sport. We win in Alabama and won the game. I think Florida State has the second best win right now. When's the last time you could say Texas has the best win in the sport? It's been a long time. It's been a very, very long time. And guys, it could have been worse. We could have won this game by 21 or more. Like we had so many opportunities that we let go, in my opinion. But overall, I'm not going to complain. We won. We just beat Alabama on the road for, I believe, the fourth or fifth time in the last 13 years. We're one of 5 teams. Auburn 2010, Johnny Manziel 2012, Ole Miss 2015, LSU 2019, Texas 2023. And LSU 2011. So 6 times. I mean, it's amazing to see. It really is. UCLA has the best win. They beat the mighty Aztecs of San Diego State on the road. They do have a good win. That's not a bad win, but they do not have the best win. Is Brady Hoke still the coach of San Diego State? That's crazy if he is. But overall, I mean, there's really not much more to say, guys. Texas, let's see, 34. Alabama, 24. This has been an absolutely fantastic night, especially if you're a Longhorn. You guys have been awesome. Please, again, go subscribe down below. Go like the content. Go over to the Texas channel, subscribe there. Go over to the SEC channel, subscribe there. Go over to the Big 12 channel, subscribe there. We're trying to grow these channels. We're trying to grow these brands. I'm here every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time on the Texas and Big 12 channel, talking Texas Tuesdays. Subscribe, like the content over there. We're trying to grow that brand. And then we're going to the Big 12 channel as well with the same content every Tuesday after our previewing this week's game, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. We'll probably touch on Alabama a little bit more after a little bit more of a deep dive, because this is just my pure honest reaction. I have to go back and watch it again, get more in depth, and then previewing Wyoming next week, and then breaking down after the game again, Wyoming next week, next Saturday on those channels. So please do that, guys. Yes, coaches SU. Okay. He wears a headset bow at least, or a headset now at least. Yeah, I never really wore one at Michigan. I always found that kind of weird. But guys, I think I'm going to call it because I think Mark's going to jump on here. I'll probably jump on here with him too. So please hit that like button. Please subscribe down below. You guys have been fantastic tonight. It's the 40 Acres Postgame Show. Hook 'em. The eyes of Texas are upon us. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that like button. Subscribe down below.